Hey everyone, welcome to episode 385 of the Daily Color, the final day of floral wreaths. We're toward the back of small victories. I am now to the point where I have complained repeatedly about the spine having a good quarter-inch drop. When I first started coloring, this was my first book, and it's been about a year now, a year in March. And so then I moved along to the middle of the book, and I've always struggled with the spine. So it was recommended by a couple of people that I build up when I pass the middle of the book, so I'm at the beginning or the end, I build up my stack underneath. So I did have a magazine, 8.5 by 11, and I thought, I wonder if one of my paper medium pads will work. So I have some watercolor paper pads, that are glued on all four sides. But I found this Canson Graduate Mixed Media. I have bought it fairly recently from Walmart. It was $4.24. And the size is important because it actually is slightly smaller. This book, Small Victories book, is 6 by 8. So if you can find a pad, this is 20 sheets of 120 pound, and it has a chipboard spine and a very thick cover. So it seems to be the right height to match the height of the book. And so I am going to snug it up underneath. I'm looking at the size of the wreath vertically straight down. Here, I'll even move this. And I think ideally a 6-inch, if not a little bit wider. Here's the gap that I have on either side. So here's my wreath ends. It barely is the width of the wreath. So a 6 by 8, some sort of pad, 120 poundish. Watercolor paper is typically 140 pound, if not heavier. And so I recommend that you look through your art supplies or purchase a pad to then use to stack underneath this Small Victories book. Today, so that's what I have done. I also have a plain sheet of paper. I film all the time with this metal showing to you guys, and no one has complained yet, but it really bothers me even when I'm seeing it, it bothers me. So I am also, since I'm already trying to make my environment the best it can be, I have a sheet of paper over the top of the metal, so I am not clipped. I often will clip to this metal, and I will use, again, I took some felt coasters and I've cut them up. So I am not going to do that today. The left side that I've made sure you can't really see because I don't want to distract you, that's yesterday's finished wreath done with Artex, is snugged up underneath a giant rubber band that came on this clipboard. I have also changed my clipboard size for the moment. This is a borrowed clipboard from my coloring friend Dawn. It is longer than, I have like a 14 by 14 that I typically use, and so my larger books were falling off the end. Small Victories fits really nicely on this size clipboard, which I think is like 14, maybe 12 by 18. Let's get a ruler. Let's just see. It is actually 19 by, 13 by 19. So if I could even find a 14 by 20, I think that would accommodate my bigger books very nicely. So moving on. So that's organization for today. It feels really weird, by the way, because full disclosure, I am not coloring the Daily Color live to then immediately push it up like I always do. So this will be I'm moving ahead. I have family coming. This is my last pre-color that I have to do because I don't really like pre-coloring. I actually like coloring and loading it up every day. And I know that probably for a lot of people, queuing up the work is good for them. But part of why I color is to relax every day. And so it's kind of a habit that I've gotten into. And it kind of feels weird to be, because what I've been doing is actually posting, processing the one episode of 45 minutes probably takes me 3 hours. Now remember, I'm retired, so this is my thing that I do. So I am perfectly happy spending my 3 hours, 4+ days a week. And then I do all my other fun videos, supply videos, and first looks and all that. Love it. It is absolutely the funnest thing that I do. And so it is weird to actually be coloring multiple days and processing videos multiple days in advance. And it's the first time I've done that with this. So I'm going to see if, is it better for me to not be pre-coloring and just have, when I went back, the only other time I had to take time off, well, I had took time off when my friend Libby was here in December, and then I took time off when I flew back home to get all of our stuff. And I did color a couple of times and posted, but I did them real time. As I did them, then I posted them that night. So should I just do less? And it's as much for me, what works best for me, as it is what works best for you guys. So you just let me know. Does it bother you if I pre-color? I just don't know. But I do prefer to color in real time and have it feel like I'm timely with you guys. So our pencils today are going to be the Pablos. Again, they are a permanent, a professional. It says permanent color. That's why I said permanent. They are a professional pencil. They're one of my sets that I've owned for many years. I don't remember in the order. They are not my first, second, or third professional set. They might have been my second to last professional set that I ever bought. And I do have them swatched. They're on a older paper. I put them on my crafting cardstock Nina cover copy Solar White. This is 85 pounds, so it's super smooth. So and then you'll see I have, yes, there is some coffee on there at some point, probably coffee or tea stain. And the palette shows a more muted, now that I have been coloring in these coloring books, and I use the Nina Bristol Vellum Exact, and then I pull out these professional pencils. The color tones that I know I see here are muted compared to what I get when I use them in real time. Anyhow, so on that note, I have really carefully orchestrated this particular set. Where I told you yesterday our text did not have a lot of greens, the Pablos have, I guess, a page and a half of greens. Like for me, the green starts over here at greenish blue. Even malachite green is, I'm even using malachite green today, even though it looks really blue. And so we have, this is 36, so each side is 18. So I have 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26 greens, not including a couple here over in the turquoise side, light malachite green and turquoise. So 28 greens. Very much, it was a struggle to really come up with very finite sets of greens for this Christmas theme image that I'm coloring. So we only have one type of flower. I have designated it poinsettia. I think that the shape is shorter and fatter than poinsettia petals, but I'm going to go with it. So we're just going to do reds. And then on my Lazy Susan, I have 3 sets of greens put in, because it's actually, here, I'll even show you. So you can't even see it because it's a little too close. So there's my Lazy Susan, and I have the olives, the blue greens, and the kind of the green greens. And then one random, well, 2 darker-ish regular old greens. And then I have my reds, a yellow, and a beige. And that is it for here. But boy, were the greens complicated. And I have been making sure that I mark my planning sheet pretty extensively, because I am going to be providing those to members when I am finished with the members area, getting the initial load. I have hundreds of videos which I do plan on for historical purposes. I will be logging them as part in the members program as a stream, and all of my reference materials will be recorded that I have available, and then photography that I will take of the finished product, because a lot of times I will take an image and I will do a little embellishing to it to finish it off, and I want to make sure that I have those cataloged as well. So we've got 3 sets of greens. I'm going to go ahead and start with the reds, because then we will have the areas of red done, which will help me with balancing out the greens if I have to make any adjustments. And the barrels on these are decent. I do have, you'll see, oh, I only have 3 reds. The 4th red, this red is my berries. It is called Carmine. It is quite vivid. And then I have for the poinsettia flowers, dark, oh well, light to dark. We always go light to dark. Ruby red 280, Indian red 75, and dark carmine 89. These are it's a hexagon shaped, which is the same shape as the Albrecht Dürer, but these are a very slender barrel pencil. They have a nice fat lead that gets nice and long. They are I believe, a wax in the world of whether they're wax or oil, but they still hold a point. They are a very dry feeling pencil, very much on the dry, silky to dry side, not buttery whatsoever. That's not a term that I think of when I use these. And the gold lettering is difficult to read. There is a light fast rating with the stars, so these are light fast, though not 100% light fast like Luminance or the Derwent Light Fast. So you do have to do your research if you're going to use these for art. The pinks, reds, purples are the ones that will not be as light fast as the other colors. Though I'm looking at all of mine right now. I have all the greens, I have the yellow, I have a beige. The beige is 3 stars. So 2 stars is what is the predominant amount of stars for light fastness that the set that I am using. And here is a green that has 3 stars. So 3 stars is better than 2 stars. And I have not looked up to see how many years of light fastness, and that is light fast in museum framing conditions. So that doesn't mean that I will have the same amount of light fastness in my Florida room in Florida if I just take one of these sheets and hang it on my wall. So you can kind of take that all with a grain of salt. Okay, so this is my dark. It's my shadow color. It's called Dark Carmine. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers to color. And I am going to start with my shadow color, which tends to be how I start things. These are quite small, so this should go pretty quickly. A very different feel when I was doing the mock-up, very different than the other wreaths. And again, I am trying to make these wreaths in the interest of time, not so much just for this week of time, but in the hunt to finish my book. I don't want these pages to take more than a day, and I'm on my 4th one, and I am so proud. The lighting is varying because of I am filming during the day. And so I hope you all can see well enough. The last video, again, I already did a video earlier today and it did come out great. So I am sticking with the full back view where you can see the whole image. And we will see how that goes for us today. I did enjoy sitting down yesterday in the recliner for the first time in 4 months, because I had been coloring down here in the screen room on my zero grav chair, which I liked for a while. And now, you know, my back, it's constantly changing. I had injured my calf, and so I am now not liking it. I tried it and I just didn't like that feeling. So the zero grav chair, it's folded up. I'm moving to the middle red. And I have been coloring sitting up. Part of it is the wanting to stay really focused, and I do not want to take forever to color these images. I am working on my skills and ability to color quickly and efficiently, as well as wanting to not be delayed. See, so here, I don't know if you guys can see, but I have just colored 3 other wreaths. This is my 4th wreath. These are the driest of the 4. Oh, I'm going to say no. I think the Albrecht Dürer, they go on very kind of dry and powdery because they are a watercolor pigment. And these feel a touch more silky than the Albrecht Dürer, but way drier than the Castle Arts Gold and the Artex, which I just finished this morning. So like I said, because I'm going to be posting my planning notes for members to kind of see my back-end processes and thoughts, I have added extra notes for each of these, and I'm going to be keeping better notes going forward. Because my sister-in-law surprised us with a text showing us flights. You know, when people say they're going to come visit you, we kind of take it with a grain of salt until we actually have proof that they're coming. So I was not really prepared for her to come, which is why I'm scrambling to do videos. So it's probably going to be the end of the month, well, maybe even the beginning of March now, before the members area will be opened up, and I want to have more content available for everyone. But I have had a really fun time getting that organized, and I have I like to document things. I am an analysis person, so I would rather take more time to analyze and make sure I get it right and have it fleshed out completely. I really actually don't like rushing. The whole rushing to get this book finished is a personal challenge to myself, but it also makes it not quite as fun. And I'm excited to be done with the book so that I can then slow back down, do some big images again. I've got the Kirby Rosanna's book that had one winter image that I am just sadly not going to get to. I don't think that particular image would take all that long either. So here is my first poinsettia. I'm, by the way, in comparison to the other sets, this pencil puts down a lot of pigment, and I have not gone beyond light medium pressure on any of the colors I've put down so far. I do see a little bit of tooth, so at some point I might decide I'm going to burnish. I'm going to move on though in the meantime. I think I'm going to put some glassine on this Artex, like so, to protect it. I don't, usually in the morning, everyone, if you know me and you've followed me along with me, I exercise just about every day. Like yesterday, I think I exercised 2 to 3 hours. I just do a variety of things. 6 days last week. So this week, and I do get very tired, weary feeling exercising that much, but I had things to do. I had some disc golf. The extra things that I did was playing disc golf 2 times, once with Hub, and then we had somebody over the weekend. So on Sunday we went again. That was completely spontaneous and unplanned, and it was just really fun. But Sunday would normally have been a day of rest for me, and the only day I did get off, I was still buzzing around because we had company from back in Washington State. So it wasn't like my one day off on Saturday was restful. So I don't even remember my train of thought. That is really funny. Usually I remember what I'm thinking about. Oh, so normally I exercise every day, and I did yesterday, did Wednesday for me is Zumba day. We have Zumba on the floor and Zumba in the pool, and love it, but it makes me really tired. So today, the cat doesn't know quite what to think because I'm home and Hub is home. We actually had breakfast together just a short time ago after I did my first video. The cat is helping me, you guys. Haven't had a pet in 11 years, and he is just a very loving feline, which in the morning, I mean, he is very young, but he's growing, and so he will come in now and cuddle where and he doesn't have the tendency to be too zoomy in, at 1 or 2 in the morning. In fact, he actually slept in the bed last night for the first time. He's very independent. He may be affectionate and loving, but he also isn't clingy. He will go and do his thing. And if he wants to have the zoomies at 1 or 2 in the morning, you, buddy, you go right ahead, but you're doing it on your own. I'm staying in bed. So he did get up at like 6 a.m., went off and did his thing, and then he came back and cuddled. I think it's 7:30 or so. And I really enjoy that a lot. Whenever I had pets, I always worked, and I was kind of a workaholic person. So Hub is very entertained by this whole cat pet thing because not only did I work full time, I competed nationally showing horses, and then I also, to pay for the horse, I always did a side gig at the horse shows. So I pretty much worked 60 to 80 hours a week anytime I had a pet. In all the years we've raised, this is our 5th kitten. 2 of them came with me when we were young. And then this is our 3rd together. So, needless to say, the cat doesn't know what to think about us being home because both he goes off to work on the trail and I go do my exercise thing for a couple of hours most days. So he was very entertaining all morning long, and he is finally sleeping soundly over on his tree in the room here with me. All right. I hope I'm not I keep feeling like I take too long. So the trick now, I want to rotate. This is what I had a struggle with yesterday. I'm sitting on the recliner. I can't rotate the clipboard well enough, and I really don't want to have my hand be crossing over. So we are rotated now so you can see, and then my hand doesn't get in the way and change the focus. So these pencils, like I said, they are a slender pencil, and they make a really nice long tip. Even though they are wax-based, they feel oil-based, and I can get in these little nooks nicely, and the points stay a point. This is the darkest color, which is called Carmine, Dark Carmine. When I first was doing the greens, I keep the professional pencils. I'm not afraid of the pigment color changing in my craft room. Not very much anyway. Like I said, most of these are only a 2-star. So we'll see if I at some point regret having not put these in a dark protected case. As they sit in a tote. They're not near the window. They used to be near the window, and now they're over by the wall, away from the window, rubber banded together, and all of the color families for all of my professional pencils are together because I often will, not coloring with you guys, but if I do my own fine art projects, I commingle my brands. So I just like how these feel. These just are a really nice feeling. There are people who do claim that these are their favorites over the polys. You know, there's the polychromos camp of folks, and then there's the Prismacolor folks, and there are Pablo folks, just like there's Holbein folks. And I have the tendency to like everything. I do want to create a variety of rating videos where I'm rating them for specific elements. My particular fleet of pencils, from the professional ones down to the super budget ones. I have used them all enough now, as you've heard over and over, that I like them all to some degree. And I have been asked more than once if I could, identify which ones I like the best. All right, I'm moving, that was the dark, and I am moving to the middle color, which is Indian red. I wonder, after going through this book, which is a lovely variety of images, am I ever going to get tired of flowers? My friend Libby, we do card making, and though she owns a ton of flower stamps and dies, she is not a flowery person as a rule, even though she uses them. And I am a flower person and thoroughly enjoy flowers and the challenge of coloring them. She doesn't even like to color, which is really funny. She even said, we colored, was it Monday? I think we colored on Monday, and she says, I'll color on my own time. I'm nervous when I color with you, because she feels like she has to color to a certain standard. And I'm like, there is no pressure. You color however you want. No judgment here. Now that I host coloring group meetings, I really just do not judge anybody. I am just thrilled with anybody willing to give coloring a try, because I think it is a very relaxing, satisfying thing to do, that in the end you have something for your efforts that you can turn into art, you can turn it into a card, you can make shrinky dinks out of it and make keychains if you want. So here's one interesting thing about these pencils. They do show the tooth. Like, I need to do a little burnishing pressure, but I can see the ripples in the paper. There are other pencils, like the Castle Arts Gold, do not show the tooth of the paper to the degree that these show. Even though I'm seeing a good amount of pigment go down, you do still see the tooth. The Artex actually go down similar to these. Not quite as easy, though. They were a bit more work. And my hand, and of course I did that earlier today, so my hand is already feeling a little weary. But this will be the last one that I have to do ahead of time, because my sister-in-law leaves Friday morning, which gives me the whole weekend to do 2 more videos in real time, per my normal schedule. I asked Hub, so have you got a plan of what you're going to do with your family when they're here? And he's like, nope. The nice thing about where we're at is there's a ton of stuff already that you can do. You never even have to leave the park if you don't want to. My parents hardly left the 2 times they visited. We went to play putt-putt once, and we went to Playa Linda, the ocean. And then along the trek to the ocean is a drive. I think it's called Black Point Drive. And we did that on the way to the ocean. And yes, the ocean is a national park, and we always get a national parks pass. So these, I still think these white tips, I am going to glaze over them and make them pinkish with this lightest one, but I'm not going to do it yet. And I have one more, don't I? Yes. I am already feeling I'm feeling the light at the end of the tunnel of being finished, so I can't relent and slow down yet. Not yet. When I do these shadows on the smaller flowers, I pretty much just follow the top of the petal overlapping into the shadow. And so it's like a zigzag. See, I could just even go zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And that seems to be enough detail for these smaller flowers. And then I don't necessarily do the straight line veining technique like I do with larger flowers where you're actually seeing the veins. I do sort of do, let's see, I'm going to try it. So what do I do? This is the middle color. I guess I'm kind of doing straightish ovals, because these petals are just way too small to actually try to do directional coloring to make them look more realistic. So again, this is lightish pressure, and I am seeing some tooth, but I'm not worried. I still have a good amount of color down. And now I'm going to toss the light one, and that's the one that I've been doing a little more pressure, ruby red. So hard to read. I don't have my reading glasses on. I believe that's 280. Yeah, so I'm doing heavier pressure to push the pencil pigment into the tooth. Nope, I forgot that one. I'll have to darken that outer petal. So yeah, as you can tell, these are not quite poinsettia shaped. That's the color they're going to be for me. Okay, 5 flowers done. Lots of tooth showing, so I will have to come back through. I might even, if I run out of time, I might have to go back and finish that on my own time. Yellow. Yellow. It's never been sharpened. This is how they come. It's been used a little bit. And that is what I am going to make the berries. If I feel like I got too sloppy, I can take my electric eraser and get rid of some of the red. This one up here isn't so bad that you can't even see. There we go. Now you can see them all. Yep, so don't forget your electric eraser if you need to sharpen up. I don't even have a brush nearby. Yes, I do. I still have my coloring group supplies sitting right next to me. So, ironically, the Castle Arts Gold have historically always been really crumbly, and I never once had to wipe away the crumbs. I think between them and the Prismacolor and the couple of other really soft sets, I'm getting used to using them in a way that does not produce crumbs because I don't want to have to clean up the crumbs. Okay, so I got the yellow done. I'm going to grab this other red, and I'm going to whiz through and do some berries. There are a ton of berries all throughout. I am still upside down. I might just stay upside down. I want my berries to appear to be glossy shiny, so I will be coloring them, leaving a round shiny dot. If I so desire, I can come back with the dark carmine and do some shadows later. Pretty much all of the other images I have colored, I've spent about 5 minutes. These 4 dots, I am not going to make berries. I believe I am going to stickle those with some sort of fun stickle. I do not know what these sprigs, if they're a real plant or not. I suspect not. I am literally doing medium pressure circles. This is how I did the grapes when I did the fruit, and the blackberries, and that one I messed up and colored in, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to rotate back to right side up. I hope my holly color that I decided is not too blue. I wanted to emphasize the variation of the green colors. This was the other winter image. So I've got these little pom-pom things that aren't berry, like center berries. So I'm not going to treat them like berries. I might even leave them completely alone and do something on the side. Okay, let's play with holly since I am on the holly side. There's only holly on this side, no holly on the other side. I have 3 blue-greens, and the barrels of these 2 are so close that I'm looking at the tips to get the variation in the color right. And light to dark is opaline green 195, greenish blue 190, and malachite green 180. This is a very blue-green. And I am not reading these with glasses right now. They are way easier to read than the earlier Artex. So these holly are typically a waxy, and they aren't this blue-green in real life. But I am going to use this color, and I am going to leave, kind of like how I did the berries, I am going to leave some very shiny, harsh areas to make them look glossy. Make sure you guys can see what I am doing. Okay, so that's very blue, and that the use of these other colors is to fill in as a layer and kind of green them up somewhat. And I don't even mind if the tone varies from leaf to leaf a little bit. So this is, I believe, the middle tone, greenish blue. And opaline green is the lightest color. So I hope you guys can see the difference there. I'm now grabbed the malachite green, which is the very blue color, and I'm going to go over the top. And I have noticed when you mix your colors, depending on what your bottom color is, the finished color will vary. So that is one trick. If you need some variation and you want it to look somewhat natural, just reverse your colors if you are combining and doing a color combo. Start with a different color to change it up. I'm using the blue again. This one looks greener to me than the others. So now I'm back to the green-ish tone. Now I just grabbed the opaline, which is the lightest color. But these are all really close. Very slight variations. Remember, 38 greens, 28 greens in the Pablo set. I believe there's maybe 15 greens in the Artex set. I should have probably logged that. I had just a really hard time covering all the bases with the Artex. I am going to move over here, and I'm just randomly, like right now, I grabbed the malachite green, and I'm just kind of rotating through them. And whichever color I finish with, I am starting for the next one. Yeah, that looks way more green to me. I am now grabbing the lightest green for this big leaf. See how different we can make it look. Going to the dark. And grabbing the middle. All right, we have one more holly over here. And this is the darkest, malachite green. Each one of these is done. That's the blue green. This is the lightest green, opaline green. And this is greenish blue. And I haven't added any other colors for variation yet. So those are the 3 different colors. And now on the 2 lighter ones, I'm going to put the malachite blue on. There you go. I'm just going to leave them like that. Right, that's the blue-green done. Now I have these crazy right here. They're like hearts. I don't really know what they are. Maybe they're ivy-ish. There's 3 of them, 1 in each corner. We have the sun coming out. We'll see if I need to probably close my curtains because I see some sun. And I'm sure it's messing with what you guys see. So one of the crazy things here, I have really heavy blinds. They are faux wood, you know, big heavy plastic 2-inch. And I can't believe they haven't ripped up off the wall because they're so heavy. And with the cat, we put them up and down. And so I have decided to go with some inexpensive cellular blinds. That will be far easier for me to maneuver. And they're coming Saturday. Okay. I just did it backwards. Light olive, 245. Olive gray, 18. Olive black, 19. And I do have possibilities with 2 additional colors that I may need them for these leaves, but I'll probably be using them on other leaves, and that is 16 khaki green and 15 olive yellow. So those are just sitting here to the side if I feel I need some more variation. And these fun heart-shaped ivies, I want to do very light in the middle. This is light pressure, by the way. I think these right here are very fun, and I was so happy to have something completely different next to the holly. All right. Starting with the darkest, which is the olive black. And we've got olive gray now. The color names for the Pablos are like very no-nonsense, kind of artsy color type names rather than crazy unique names. And I'm okay with that. And I am going to introduce this khaki green 16. I'm just working on burnishing down the tooth with this khaki green. I left the tops of these kind of feather looking insides, I left those white. Okay, we are moving to, I'm going to rotate. Because we've got the heart ivy here and up here. Starting with the olive black. I'm at 52 minutes. I am way over time, aren't I? So we're going to just keep going because it is my final one. This is going to go long. I did a lot of talking. Idle chatter that gets me in trouble every time. This very light color is the inside olive, light olive. It's like the heart. Back to the olive black. I missed this one part. Olive green, right? Olive gray. I'm going to not finish coloring these in. I want to get to the other greens. The earlier one today, I left 4 uncolored leaves, and I'm going to have to do the same here. There, so I finished that one on this side. Setting the olives down, I do have this tiny tendril up here that I'm going to finish. I want to make sure that I get its color correct. Okay, grabbing, we have bright greens, and here's what I'm going to do with these bright greens. I will do like this one flower's petals. I need 229 right here, 229. So here's all four to make this bright green poinsettia leaf. Light green 221, 201 Veronese green, emerald green 210, and dark green 229. So I want these to look curved, kind of curled from the center. All right, moving to the lighter emerald green. And this really is the key bright green to these leaves. I did these leaves so many different ways trying to get what I wanted them to look like in the end. Moving on to Veronese green. Heavy pressure now. I'm wanting to burnish and smooth the color into the paper, eliminating the toothy color. And I'm going to quickly do, I said I was going to do this whole flower. I have one more flower to do after this. We're at 59 minutes. And it's not a flower, it's a leaf. One more leaf style that I want to show you. I skipped a color. I skipped the to the Veronese, second to lightest. And then the lightest green is this light one, light green, that I just want to glaze over the top and really give these leaves some brightness. So that is what the poinsettia leaves are. The only thing I do not like, personally, the fact that this very light color puts a gray cast on the black lines. I do not like. But I don't think I'm going to go through the effort of making those lines back black again. All right, so there's a completed poinsettia with still needing to make the red not have tooth. And then the final green that I have is, if I look at my colors, 229, which is dark green, and 200, which I need to find. The combinations, 200 is a bluish green. Do you think I'm using the mallet? Nope, I'm not using that. Well, that is interesting that my color I have picked. I remember putting it back too, and it's like back in the rubber band put away. So I'm going to grab emerald green. So here is what I want these fun, unique leaves that I have no idea what they are in real life. This was the color I grabbed, 210 emerald. I think the color I picked it was a little bit darker than emerald. So all of these wreaths that you saw partially complete, you will for sure see at the monthly review finished. And I will probably need every second of time in the month of February to get them finished. I tried really hard not to have a lot because I already have the Languo gel pen 2 projects that is all little piddly, very small detail stuff that I'm going to finish. I did work on that last night. I'm getting, so on with this particular green, I get some resist right next to the line, so I'm having to really use hard pressure to get the right next to the printed black line to get colored in fully. Okay, so I've got my olive green, my bright green, my dark green, and the very contrasting holly green. So I hope you can see the vision of what this will look like when it is completely done. And I've gone way over time. We're at 1 hour, 4 minutes. It's been a long time since I've done that, and it's because I chatted too much at the beginning. So do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. Thank you everyone for joining with me today. Please leave your comments. I'd love to hear from you. And again, you will see this completed on the monthly review. I actually can show you most of it right here. So the next time you will see me, we are going to be coloring birds. And let's see if I can flip open this piece of paper. Flip over. The 2 birds are going to be done with Starjoy Gold, which is another favorite that is a very easy to use pencil that has a nice vibrant laydown. And I hope to see you all there. Have a great day.